Hello YouTubers, my name is Michael O'Hara and I'm running the LA Marathon on Sunday, March 20th, 2011. Hey gang, name's Mike. Short bio about me, was in the military for 4 years, was in great shape, self-esteem up the roof, felt good about myself, was active, felt had more energy, joined the military at 18, was one of the best runners in my battalion, run ability groups, wasn't probably the top 5%, and as much workouts that we would do in the military on my off time, I would work out with buddies, do a little bit of boxing, conditioning, stuff like that, sparring, wrestling, and it was very fun. Didn't really see it as much exercise, just something to do instead of just staying in my room, in my barracks room. And I had a pretty good unintentional diet because I was eating in the cafeteria in the military, and their food most of the time is pretty healthy, or healthier than what you would get at a McDonald's or a Burger King per se. And in 2008 I got out of the military from Washington State, moved to California where I grew up, had a lot of the same friends, and realized that they didn't love physical activity that much. They were more into video games, watching movies, playing guitar, stuff that wasn't active like I did in the military. And I kind of fell into their lifestyle. Like, for example, they would like to go eat many times a week. I would say maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and that's not pushing it, and that isn't an exaggeration. And it was always food that wasn't very good for you. Going to Hometown Buffet, which is just like fried food and carbohydrates like crazy with bread. But so we went to buffets, Asian food full of MSG and sugar, hamburgers, BK tacos, Jack in the Box, stuff that wasn't good for you. And with having no one really that I knew that I could really work out with at the same level that I was, or even find that consistent companionship to work out, I just, within 2 or 3 months of coming back to California out of the military, I just quit exercising altogether and started eating worse food. And my self-esteem would go down, my productivity went down, my energy didn't feel as good anymore, and I lived that way. And I just saw my clothes stop fitting me, or actually they still fit, but they're very tight. I gotta move up a size now. All my pants don't need belts anymore like they used to. And so that comes to, why am I running a marathon? For those exact same reasons. Just feel better about myself. See if I accomplish something that I think a lot of people feel that they can't do. I want this to finish. When I go work out now, I'm on my 2nd week, I just picture myself when I'm running up a hill or pushing myself into another level. Just, I think of crossing that finish line, the accomplishment, the satisfaction one gets for putting so much work, so much effort into it, and I just see myself in that position. Gives me motivated like crazy. So that's why I'm running it. Hopefully everything goes well. I have 122 days, and I'm only on my 2nd week. Reading books, they say that you should have at least a year, which I think is a little bit of an exaggeration to train for a marathon. Minimum 6 months Well, I have I have a decent amount of time, 5 months. But the problem with me is that during the military, I didn't really have a structured way of working out. I just kind of did whatever I felt like. Like I felt like working shoulders today, or not knowing any of the biological things that would happen in my body. I just know if I lift weights, I will gain muscle. That's basically if I run, I don't know. I didn't know anything about aerobic or anaerobic exercise, what I should be doing. Just I ran. So for knowing that I'm gonna run a long distance, I need to help my chances of completing it. I started going to my local public library and just reading about the topic, see what I could learn about it, how could I adjust, and it's very exciting. Like stuff that I'm learning from marathon running, I'm not gonna go into it now because I just started, but I learned this stuff in biology class like 2 years ago in college, and it applies to me now, and it's sticking. All the stuff I'm learning about marathon running is just sticking on my head now. It's just absorbing so much because I'm interested in the material and it affects me, which is pretty fascinating. Because 2 years ago, I would doze off in class in biology, not care about the hot body works as long as I passed the test. I did the minimum basically, passed the class, but now that I'm going through all this stuff again, it's just very exciting that I'm remembering what I'm learning now instead of just remembering and just tossing it in the trash. Like I said a little while ago, I'm on my second week of training. The first week I had 1 day off. The book suggests 2 days off at least a week, maximum 3. But just had 1 day. I felt great. I only did 1 mile runs, which is pretty pitiful in military standards, or just pitiful in general. 1 mile runs, and the first 2 or 3 days I couldn't even do a mile. I would have to jog maybe third of a mile or half a mile and then walk for like a minute or 30 seconds and then finish the run. So it wasn't a full mile. I did a mile, but it wasn't all jogging. Just this past weekend, I started doing 2 miles, which is a 50% increase. And from what I read, that you shouldn't increase more than 10% each week on your run. So I still feel good. I could run 2 miles now without a problem. Oh, I'm still breathing pretty heavily, which shouldn't be the case, but well, I'm able to complete it, and that's that. Well, I went down my list, and that's all I have. I'm gonna be posting maybe a video every weekly or bi-weekly. See how that goes. Hopefully everything works out, and I'll see you in a week or two. Bye. Oh yeah, remember to leave your comments below.